What's going on, guys? This your boy John the Liquidator coming back with breaking news, hot off the press. So it looks like WNBA players has agreed to Cathy Engelbert 30-day extension. Guys, for this one here, we got to go all the way up to New York.
What's going on, everyone? This is Epic Women Basketball with breaking news that's sending shockwaves through the world of women's basketball. The WNBA has just barely avoided a full-blown lockout after striking a last-minute 30-day extension deal with Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. This emergency move has bought the league a little more time, but make no mistake, it's not a fix. It's a pause before the storm. From New York to Los Angeles, everyone's talking. What just happened inside those closed-door meetings could completely redefine the future of women's basketball. Let's break down exactly what went down, what it means for players, the league, and how stars like Caitlin, Clark, and Angel Reese are quietly reshaping the power balance in the WNBA. Sources close to the WNBA confirmed late Thursday that the Players Association and Commissioner Cathy Engelbert agreed to a 30-day extension to continue labor talks, effectively stopping a precedent massive lockout just hours before the deadline. This decision pushes the critical deadline to November 30th, giving both sides one final window to strike a deal before the entire 2026 season falls into uncertainty. Now, what's important here is that this isn't just some ordinary negotiation. This was a high-stakes standoff, the kind that could make or break the league's next decade. For days, tension had been building. Reports from league insiders painted a picture of panic. Players preparing for a shutdown, league offices in crisis mode, and sponsors waiting on the edge of their seats. And then, suddenly, this extension dropped like a lifeline. But here's the truth. This isn't a victory. It's a temporary truce. This 30-day extension is being called a strategic pause. It prevents immediate disaster, yes, but it also highlights something much deeper, a massive power shift that's been brewing inside the WNBA for years. This short agreement means no one gets locked out. For now, players still have access to team facilities. Training continues, and the upcoming WNBA draft lottery remains on schedule, at least for the moment. But behind the scenes, this extension shows just how much pressure both sides are under. For the WNBA, a lockout would have been catastrophic. The league's still in a fragile stage of growth, and shutting down operations even temporarily could have scared off sponsors, derailed broadcasting deals, and completely stopped its momentum. For the players, the stakes were equally high, especially as they push for fair pay, improved benefits, and a complete overhaul of the league's salary structure. What's happening now is unlike anything we've seen before in women's basketball. Players today aren't just athletes anymore. They're entrepreneurs, influencers, and brand powerhouses. And that changes everything. In past labor negotiations, the league always held the upper hand. But today, things are different. Why? Because WNBA stars are no longer dependent solely on their league salaries. They've built entire empires outside the game. Endorsements, business ventures, media appearances, and personal brands that rival even some NBA names. This financial independence has given players real leverage. They can now walk into negotiations and say, "We don't need the league as much as the league needs us." And that's a statement that carries serious weight. At the center of this new wave of power stands Caitlin Clark, the face of a new era. Her arrival didn't just elevate the WNBA, it exploded it into mainstream conversation. Caitlin isn't just a rookie, she's a phenomenon. Nominated for Time's Athlete of the Year, appearing on talk shows, headlining sponsorship deals, and bringing millions of new eyes to women's basketball. She's transformed from an athlete into a global brand. And that brand power gives her, and players like her, enormous influence over how The league operates. Every negotiation, every deal, every new contract the WNBA signs is now filtered through one crucial question. How do we keep stars like Caitlin Clark happy, secure, and in the league? Because losing Caitlin Clark would be more than just losing a player. It would mean losing the spotlight, the fan base, and the momentum that is currently propelling the WNBA's rise. Every endorsement, every sold-out arena, every viral highlight relies on stars like her to keep attention and investment flowing. The league's growth is intertwined with the visibility and influence of these elite players, and Clark has become the face of that movement. And she's not alone. Another player redefining the landscape is Angel Reese. Recently, Reese made a groundbreaking move. She trademarked her own name. That's right, legally owning her brand identity. Every endorsement, every product, every campaign using her name now goes through her directly. It may sound like a simple legal step, but it's actually a massive cultural statement. Reese is showing that WNBA athletes are no longer waiting for the league to market them or create opportunities. They're building and protecting their own brands. This is next-level thinking. It signals that today's professional athlete isn't just a player on the court. She's a CEO, an entrepreneur, and a public figure with leverage far beyond the scoreboard. And that empowerment feeds directly into the ongoing contract negotiations. Players like Reese are making it clear. They're no longer passive participants in the system. They're partners, and they expect to be treated as equals at the table. Here's where it gets complicated. While players demand higher pay and a fairer salary structure, the league is still in a fragile financial phase. Unlike the NBA or NFL, the WNBA is still growing, still carving out sustainable revenue streams. A full-scale lockout could have been catastrophic, halting momentum, alienating fans, and undermining years of effort to legitimize the league on a global stage. That's why Commissioner Cathy Engelbert had no choice but to find common ground. This 30-day extension buys time, but it also puts immense pressure on league officials to deliver a new collective bargaining agreement that satisfies everyone. Because if they fail, the next confrontation won't end with a pause. It could end with a complete shutdown. Insiders describe the negotiations as tense but hopeful. Every move is being watched, every statement dissected, and the stakes have never been higher. Players are empowered, fans are invested, sponsors are paying attention. The WNBA is at a crossroads, and the next 30 days will tell the story of whether it rises or stumbles. Both sides know the stakes. Both sides understand what's on the line. For players, it's about recognition, being valued for their impact on the sport. For the league, it's about survival, keeping the WNBA running smoothly and profitable in the long term. Sources say the biggest sticking points are revenue sharing, how much of the league's profits go to players, salary caps, whether they'll rise with the league's popularity, marketing, control, how the WNBA promotes individual stars, and, while the league wants to expand cautiously, players believe the time to invest in women's basketball is now. Every game, every sponsorship, every media appearance is an opportunity that could define the future of the sport. And the stars know it. The question now isn't just whether a deal will be struck. It's whether the deal will honor the value of the players and the league alike. Can the WNBA keep its momentum alive without compromising its financial stability? That delicate balance is at the heart of these negotiations. Let's be clear. This isn't just about money. It's about respect. It's about recognition. It's about proving once and for all that women's basketball deserves to thrive on its own stage. Not as an afterthought, not as a side story, but as a premier sport with global attention. The WNBA is finally seeing unprecedented growth. TV ratings are climbing to record highs. Arenas are selling out faster than ever. Sponsorships are pouring in. and the media spotlight is shining brighter than at any point in the league's history. But all that progress could evaporate if negotiations fail. A lockout would freeze everything. Players would lose visibility. Sponsors could walk away. Fans might drift off, and years of dedication, sacrifice, and progress could disappear almost overnight. That's why this 30-day extension, while temporary, carries enormous significance. It's more than a pause. It's a symbol of hope, a statement that maybe, just maybe, both sides understand the gravity of unity and timing in shaping the league's future. Every league needs a face, and right now, the WNBA's face is Caitlin Clark. Her presence has fundamentally altered the economics of the league. TV ratings spike whenever she plays. Merchandise flies off the shelves. Attendance records fall as fans flock to see her in action. But beyond the numbers, Caitlin Clark represents something even bigger. A generation of women refusing to wait for permission to be powerful. Her influence goes beyond individual games or endorsements. It gives players unprecedented leverage at the bargaining table. It's no longer a question of if players have a voice. It's a question of how loudly they will be heard, and how far their demands will reshape the league. Clark isn't just a basketball player. She's a cultural phenomenon, a brand, and a catalyst for a new era of women's sports. And this new reality is forcing the WNBA to reckon with its own evolution. The league can't rely on old strategies. It must adapt, innovate, and meet the expectations of its players and its fans, because the stakes are higher than ever. That's why the WNBA can't afford instability right now. They need to build an environment where stars like Clark, Reese, and others can shine without worrying about contract disputes or financial uncertainty. But here's a layer most people aren't talking about. Not every WNBA player has the same leverage as Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese. For most athletes in the league, the WNBA salary is their primary income. That means a lockout could be financially devastating. This difference in financial power creates a quiet tension inside the players' union itself. While top stars might be able to hold out longer, others can't. So the challenge now is, can the union stay united when individual player power is growing so unevenly? This internal balancing act could make or break the entire negotiation. Now all eyes are on one date, November 30th. That's when this 30-day extension expires. If no new agreement is reached, the threat of a lockout returns instantly, and the timing couldn't be worse. The WNBA draft lottery happens right around that period, a crucial event for fans, franchises, and the league's marketing push. A labor dispute during that window could derail everything, throwing rookies, teams, and sponsors into chaos. So every single day between now and November 30th matters. The WNBA's story has always been about growth, resilience, and progress against the odds. From the early days of struggling for recognition to today's battles for equality and respect, this league has come a long way. But this moment feels different. The WNBA is standing at a crossroads. On one side lies opportunity, soaring ratings, record-breaking rookies, and a new generation of fans who see the league as a movement, not just a sport. On the other side lies risk, financial instability, fractured leadership, and the potential loss of trust from both players and sponsors. The upcoming negotiations will define more than just salary caps and benefits. They'll shape the league's identity for years to come. Can the WNBA evolve into a financially secure, globally recognized powerhouse? Or will internal divides slow down the progress it's fought so hard to achieve? This is more than a contract battle. It's a test of vision, leadership, and unity. If the league and players can come together, this could be a turning point that cements the WNBA's place in the sports world forever. But if they fail, it could unravel years of hard-earned momentum in a single off-season. But here's what everyone needs to understand. This isn't just about contracts, money, or media rights. This is about legacy, about whether the WNBA finally claims the respect it has fought for since day one. For years, players have carried the weight of a league that demanded greatness, while giving them barely enough resources to succeed. They've traveled on commercial flights, juggled second jobs, and endured pay gaps that would make anyone question the system. Yet, through it all, they kept showing up, playing their hearts out, inspiring a new generation of fans, and proving that women's basketball deserves the global stage. Now that moment has arrived. The numbers are up, the cameras are on, and for the first time, corporate America is paying attention. But attention isn't enough. Transformation takes courage. It takes leaders on both sides willing to say, "We're not going back." If the WNBA can find that courage, this could be a turning point that echoes through every locker room, every arena, and every young athlete dreaming of making it big. It could redefine what success looks like in women's sports, not as a side story, but as the main event. Because let's be honest, the fans are tired of seeing talent overshadowed by politics, progress slowed by hesitation, and dreams delayed by dollars. They want change. They want unity. They want a league that stands for something bigger than basketball. And maybe, just maybe, this is the moment it finally happens. So as the countdown begins, one thing's for sure. The WNBA's future isn't being written in a boardroom, it's being written on the court by the players who refuse to be silent. This is Epic Women's Basketball. The story continues.
Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more dives into Hollywood's hidden history.